Hello Earthlings, welcome to another lore video, and this time we are talking about mages and sorceresses beings from my world Ammeadore. This one in particular is very complex and very long, so I decided that we are gonna have a multiple videos on this topic today, starting with just a basic description and generalization of mages and sorceresses, and also some types of the magic that we are gonna talk a little bit in more detail separately in another videos. But without further ado, let's jump into it. Beings referred to as mages or sorceresses/witches appear no different from ordinary mortals, not even in terms of aging. Of all the beings, they are the closest to humans, differing only by their special talent, or rather, their gift, magic. They usually learn about their nature and purpose from their parents, who also serve as their teachers in early stages of their life. Some lead a humble life within the circle of their closest family, while others are born into esteemed lineages where knowledge is passed down through generations as a part of tradition. Some mages create their own guilds and communities, and it is not uncommon for clans and secret sects to emerge, where blood relations are not a requirement. Mages in this world are born with only one dominant type of magic, either white or black. In most cases, they follow the path of the magic they were born with, and only later may they try to acquire abilities associated with the opposite type. However, this is not a rule. Some individuals are dissatisfied with their magical origin and strive to join the other side. If mages or witches manage to master both white and black magic at sufficiently high level and maintain balance between them, they achieve the golden middle ground, gray magic. They then earn the title of Gray Mage or Gray Witch. However, without experience and proper training, they cannot fully harness even their innate talent. They must actively develop their abilities through years of learning, often dedicating their entire lives to discovering their strengths, weaknesses, and the exact path that empowers them the most. Mastery of powerful spells, potion making, or gathering herbs and crystals is second nature to them, and they do not turn their noses up at ordinary animal companions or animagi. They also tend to have their own gods, rituals, and sacred days. Both white and black magic are highly complex. It is impossible for a young and inexperienced mage to perfectly master all areas or even one type of magic, let alone both. Therefore, within these types, there are also so-called subtypes, more specific areas and focus and specializations that mages can pursue. They choose their specialization based on their interests, talents, or family traditions. Over time, they strive to master as many areas as possible. However, before embarking on a new specialization, they first aim to perfect their current abilities to the highest level. It is more effective for them to focus on learning one, at most two specializations at a time. More about specializations we're going to be talking in another videos. Now let's talk about magical levels of the world of Ammeadore. So here we have the regular pyramid scheme of magical beings of Ammeadore, and let's start with the first level, which is the very bottom one, where we have people. Regular humankind, they do not really possess any type of magic, but there are some special cases when it can happen, and as a first level of magic, we consider simple tricks and beginner level illusions. Some humans may even manage second level of magic, but it's very rare. as a second level of magic, which basically anybody above that level can use, includes illusions, basic telepathy, basic teleportation, practical spells, and levitation. Third level is where we find the most beings from Ammeadore. Third level of magic contains practical magic, used in everyday life and harmony with natural energies. It is most commonly utilized by forest creatures such as bakeneko, gumiho, dragons, vampires, split demons, and fallen angels. A key aspect is the art of transformation, along with medium-level telepathy, teleportation, and basic telekinesis. 4th level of magic. This level revolves around natural elements and magic closely tied to nature itself. It is mastered by animagi, neris, and all kinds of angels. And it includes advanced forms of telekinesis and telepathy. 5th level of magic is very advanced form of magic wielded by highest ranking angels, royalty, elves, and incubi. It focuses primarily on combat and protective spells. The highest and the top of magic is 6th level. This is the most complex and can only be mastered by a few beings. Among them are the archbeings, the most powerful, and mages who are born with magic. This level involves controlling all 5 elements: earth, water, fire, air, and metal. Telekinesis, telepathy, and teleportation operate at the highest level. Some elves and demons of royalty may harness certain spells and abilities of this level, but they struggle to control them and risk incineration. Incineration is a state where the used magic turns against its wielder, causing an uncontrollable surge of energy, which may result in death. In the best case scenario, the individual is drained of all magical energy and becomes incapable of using any magic for a certain period of time. And trust me, I know somebody who unfortunately had this happen to him, and you Earthlings can expect a story about it soon enough. But let's talk about taboo and forbidden practices. The word taboo definitely conjures up the idea of something forbidden, and in this case, you're not mistaken. Forbidden practices exist even in magic, especially in black magic. Taboo in magic represents a system of magical prohibition where certain individuals, animals, objects, actions, and words are considered untouchable, unspeakable, or simply should not be practiced. This system is universal, and some forbidden practices are permanently restricted, while others are only temporary or conditionally based on certain individuals. Some spells are taboo and strictly forbidden for various reasons, because they are sacred. Their practice leads to desecration, imbalance, or invoke divine wrath. Unauthorized use, abuse, or exceeding certain limits leads to punishment from the higher council, which can include the death penalty or life imprisonment. Examples include necromancy, summoning monsters, death magic, and even life magic. Other skills are private, and their practice is permitted only to a select group. For example, those born into a certain lineage or with a certain status. Knowledge is passed only among them. They keep their unique practices and methods carefully to themselves, either because they do not wish to share them with outsiders or because those outside their circle may not be able to handle the practice. In the worst case scenario, unauthorized practice could lead to a curse or even the loss of one's life. If you do not belong to the selected circle to whom such practices are allowed, do not attempt to learn them on your own or without supervision from someone to whom they have been officially passed. This includes voodoo, hoodoo, and certain types of cleansing rituals. Taboo practices also include those that are not explicitly forbidden but are largely condemned by society. Users of this type of magic remain silent about their skills and practice them in secret. Otherwise, they may face exile from society. Examples include magic using blood and bones. Lastly, we have to talk about practicing magic. Magic is based on balance, meaning the possibilities it provides can result in either balance or disruption. The outcomes of its use can range from fun and annoying, but fixable, to destructive, deadly, catastrophic, or even apocalyptic. Without proper knowledge or skills, the intended use of a spell may create unpredictable or potentially dangerous results. Keep in mind the rules of 3. What you send out will return to you. The law of return operates on the same principle as the law of attraction. What you send into the world will return to you. Joy brings joy, and anger brings more anger. The difference is that the law of return is specific to witchcraft, because magic works on an energetic level. The effects of what we send tend to be amplified. It is not about a mathematical triple, but rather a general concept. A spell cast in anger will lead to even greater anger. Therefore, if you decide to perform any kinds of curse, be very careful, because sooner or later, you will face the consequences. It is unwise to use magic with a hot head and without considering the potential consequences, especially if you are not prepared to face them later. And that's all for today's video. I hope that you Earthlings enjoyed this little lesson about mages and sorceresses and magic in general. In the next video, we are going to be talking about black magic, white magic, and gray magic in greater detail. So stay tuned for that one, and don't forget to follow me on Twitch, here on YouTube, or any other social media. Enjoy the Chaos Cult on our Discord. I will welcome you with open arms. Stay chaotic!